This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. It's first day of spring, Monday, March 20th. No matter where you are in the world, spring never hits harder than it does in Canada. Let me tell you. We just
what was it?
Dig it.
-2, -8. The temperature this morning on the first day of spring. Although looking out here, it is melting. You guys, we were away this weekend, so there was quite a bit of snow where we were. So it's nice to see the green. You are seeing some green here.
Yeah, true.
There's not as much snow, so it's
But
coming.
you live north of Narnia, so.
Well, even further north than that. That's where we were this weekend.
Around Huntsville. I love it in Huntsville.
Oh my gosh, it's so
I was going to ask you
so beautiful
to go downtown, but you wouldn't have gone downtown, would you have? No.
I did, yeah. I went downtown. Yeah, we walked downtown, took a look at the shops.
Take a picture of the pub by the dock. That's where Kath and I love to go for lunch.
Pub by the dock? Oh,
right
okay,
the
so
dock.
not pub by the lights.
No, that's down
up.
the block.
Okay.
Yeah, pub by the lights is good. It's right beside the Christmas store.
Yes, which I was
is
in.
great. And,
got some shopping done there.
Oh, yeah. And then the ice cream shop, the candy store that's there.
Got some shopping done there for Easter.
Yeah.
Yes, the chocolatier.
So good. Yeah,
yes.
Nutty Chocolatier. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. Number one.
It really is.
Summertime destination small town, according to a survey, of which Picton was number 3 in our area. Yeah.
We stayed at Deerhurst, which I had never stayed at. And I know that sounds like, ooh. We were part of a hockey group.
Yep.
This is for a hockey tournament.
Still.
So I'd like to think we got pretty decent rates because it wasn't as awful as I thought it would be. But it in itself is gorgeous. And I was reading that it was just sold, I want to say last year.
Yeah.
And they're developing, the new owner has this big plan for condos and
yeah, it's becoming
residential. And I just thought, wow, what a shame. I really hope it doesn't, because it's such a beautiful, I know they will, which sucks because it's so beautiful. It's such a nice piece, and it's right there in Hidden Valley, so you've got the skiing, and then even during the winter there was snowmobiling and snowshoeing and cross-country skiing, and you could still hike some of it, but it was just gorgeous.
Fairy Lake is a beautiful lake up there.
Beautiful lake,
the whole part of it. It's great. No, but that's becoming a retirement community destination. Get out of Toronto, go up to Huntsville. So here come the condos.
And there's some beautiful spots.
Here come the condos, right
Not
up on
just
the
the resort itself, but just some of the houses and the other homes in the area are just gorgeous. But yes, it was beautiful.
And you guys won the hockey tournament, B-side?
We won the B champs.
Yes.
Yeah, boys did okay.
Yes.
Boys did all right. So between that and basketball, oh my God, I'm so tired today.
There are 0 perfect brackets remaining after 48 games, which is no surprise.
When did you start texting me on Friday? I got to look back
waited a long time. I thought, in fact,
it wasn't first thing in the morning.
I don't think I even texted you Friday, did I? Because you were off on Friday.
Did you text? Yes, you did. So your first one, oh no, you didn't. Yours, it came in 7 o'clock Friday night.
Okay.
I'm surprised you waited that long. It was Iona. It was the Iona game.
Yeah, well, misery loves company, right?
And that was just kind of the first of several kicks in the...
Yeah, it was a tush kicker this weekend.
Holy cow. And then I loved the one, where did I tell you to stop? Oh, the Houston-Auburn game.
Because you have Houston winning it all, and they were down 5 points at halftime. And I said, just breathe.
Yeah, 5, I guess.
Just breathe, whatever I sent you.
But you had to draw it to my attention. That's the thing. You're like, don't panic yet. Bye. So you sent me a screenshot. I'm like, go away. Just leave me alone.
I couldn't believe you said go away. I felt so hurt.
There was a lot this weekend. Every friggin' game. And then Baylor last night. And what was really funny, and I said this to you this morning, because I was number 1 for a short time yesterday in our bracket. My husband and I were 1 and 2. I was number 1.
That's right.
So I was very on edge when Baylor was playing last night. When they were losing, there were some words that were coming out of my mouth that probably shouldn't have in front of my children. But they realized how... how stressful it all was. They're like, so what do you win then? Like, if you win, what? Because I was number 1.
Right.
I said, a bag of jujubes. And they both there was that audible pause.
Yep.
Where they both just looked at me like, that's it? I said, it's a bag of jujubes. Watch the game.
They've yet to understand the real prize, because they're kids, they don't understand, of being an adult standing up in a room and saying, I
am
won.
the winner.
I won amongst all of you other losers. I won. There can only be one winner, and it's me.
And we all strive for it.
You know, we'll give you jujubes, but what it really means is, look at me.
Well, and
but I have Kansas in the finals, and they're out, so I'm done. I know that already. It's mathematically impossible.
But you didn't have them winning it all.
No, it doesn't matter. Because I believe if I go through it, I have to start looking at, like your husband, for example. He and I think, are going to match both a lot of games.
Yeah.
And we both have the same winner. So I'm not sure if I can mathematically beat him, which means I can't win. So good choices, Wayne. Attaboy.
He dropped down to second. He and Jamie are second. Kay is now first.
Yep.
Lisa, I don't know if she'll be, because she's number 4.
She's number 4, but she has Duke winning it all, and they're out.
And they're out.
Done.
And then I have Houston at number 5.
The real key is possible outcome, because they compile on there what's the most number of points if you get every game right from here on in.
Exactly.
And I look at that, and I think Wayne still beats me.
Yeah, he does. He has
so now
a possible 140. You have a possible 116.
Yeah, and
at this point.
Yeah, but I think he and I can almost be sure we match the games that we match that remain. So now I'm left with the consolation championship.
Okay, what's that?
Beating you. That's it.
I don't think you can do that either.
So if if Houston loses their next game and Alabama wins it all, you don't think I can beat you?
Right now, so what's the max? That's the maximum points you could get? I
think you said 116 is the most I can get.
60, yeah, 116.
What's your max?
143.
Yeah, but that's with Houston winning it all. So if Houston gets eliminated next game, there's no way you're going to get 116 points.
You don't think I have other teams that could help bump me up?
Well, we'll find out.
Because you're
Monday,
right.
April 3rd.
It really only comes down to you and I. As much as I want to win all of it and win the jujubes,
oh my gosh, yes.
I have to finish above Mark.
To beat you in the pool is my greatest joy.
What did you say in the meeting?
Else. Charity, I'll never live this down brown.
Exactly.
Charity, I will never live this down brown.
If I beat Mark, he will never.
Again.
Did I beat you last year?
No, I won last year, but you won the 2 previous years. I snapped the streak last year. Yeah, so
it's been interesting to watch anyway. It's so funny, because even seeing it this weekend with the kids, you can be the best in your area, division, whatever, however you want it. Yeah,
Purdue.
Exactly. And you don't necessarily, there's no real reason why, but like that.
It's over.
It's done. It's done. And I saw it with the kids this weekend too. And you try your hardest not to put pressure. You don't. And we were really careful this weekend. You know what? Go have fun.
Right.
Like just have fun this weekend. See how you do. But it got to them. And it was clear it got to them at one point.
The pressure of being in a championship game?
Not just the championship game, but just being there. Yeah. It was kind of like, okay, we need to back it up here. We need to rein it in a little bit. Maybe we let them go a little too hard here. We need to pull back a bit and just have them just refresh themselves, take a break. And it's not all about that. But I think about, because like these are still kids too. Like this is college basketball. It isn't the NBA. And even grown-ups, you can have too much put on you. Because the emotion too, like you see it after. It's like, guys, it is, of course, for some, very meaningful. And not to play it down, I know. But at the end of the game, it's a game. And you need to be able to get through it.
2 things. For the NBA, there's always next season.
Yeah, I know.
And for college, this may be it.
It is for some of them, for sure.
Some of them, it's the end.
For sure. And you want to do well.
99% of them will not turn pro in basketball.
No,
and some of them that do turn pro don't go NBA. They play in Europe, or they go and play somewhere else.
Things are going to change
at
the end of this game.
Here we go. You were always the best in grade school. You were the best in your neighborhood. You were the best in your high school. And now you went to college. And okay, you're the 3rd best in college, and that's over. Yeah. Like your whole life, you've been the best until you get to that. But I think too of kids like Farley Dickinson, who knocked off Purdue. How many bigger universities were they hoping to get drafted or,
go to?
Yeah. Recruited is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe got shot down. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying they settled there, but I'm sure they're happy to get a scholarship and go. And they turn around and knock off the Kings of Purdue.
And that is kind of nice.
And that's a great story.
Nobody's going to argue
and
that
nobody can take that away from them ever. They were on a 16.
I guess that's what it's more made up of. I don't want to say it's just a game, but it's those moments and to recognize it and acknowledge those moments. Don't let the negative ones get in there and fester, but focus on, like, you're here. Some teams aren't. There's a lot of teams that didn't make it. You're here and you're playing Purdue. Like, that in itself is like, holy shit. Like, that's who ever thought.
Go. Yeah.
Exactly. And then to win. Now, the guys on Purdue probably didn't feel the same way, but again, you're there.
Against those guys. It is remarkable. No, and the whole thing is just set up to be remarkable. It could have just been a basketball tournament. Nobody, but they made it a big thing. March Madness.
It is. As you said, though, too, it is equaling out. Like, it's balancing almost.
There was a time where it's like, only 8 schools were ever going to win this. UCLA, Kentucky, Louisville,
Duke,
Michigan State, Duke.
Okay.
So anybody seeded lower than a 4 would never had a chance. And certainly a 16 seed was never going to beat a 1. They were always getting blown up by 50 points. Like, why don't we go back to 32 teams? Because it's not fair. No. How many 11 seeds? How many 13 seeds? The parity across college basketball is getting that much better. It's not growing taller on the grill. It's growing wider. These teams, they get hot late because they got good players. Every school now has a great player on it. It's a time where, again, smaller universities just had, guys that couldn't get recruited by the big ones. Maybe the best one still isn't as good as bench players on Kentucky. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think you can look at anybody who's still there from like a TCU or something like that. Bench players on Kentucky, don't think you could start on some of these other universities, whereas you would take that for granted before. They're just that much better. Programs are better. Coaching's better. It's just great. It's just great. So I'm in 9th. And I pay
5th.
Attention of 12th. Charity's in 5th. So remarkable.
For the week at least.
Never know.
And then it'll change again all weekend next week.
All weekend. Came
so
in
when's
this
the
morning,
final? Sorry.
Monday, April 3rd.
Okay.
Final 4 is on the 1st, Saturday, April 1st. That's Final 4, and that's when the big points kick in.
And it's worth mentioning, too, now you said after this weekend, not one bracket
on the men's side.
Perfect on the men's side. But thank you to Evelyn, who messaged us to remind us that on the women's side, there is one perfect bracket. Someone has called every single game so far on the women's side.
And the only thing that's as remarkable it is, of course, is that they don't have 64 teams, I don't believe, on the women's side.
How many do they have?
So they don't. That's what I'm just going to look up.
Okay.
So I don't think they have to, or do they? 68 teams. I apologize. 68 teams. Because that used to be a 48 team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where some teams would get a bye. But now they backed that whole thing up to 68. That is unbelievable then, that after their 48 games,
that someone was able to predict a perfect
South Carolina's 33-0. They're going to roll everybody. South Carolina. They beat the number 6 seed or whatever by 30 points yesterday. Like, they're just a force. So good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so good for them.
Oh, and what did I say about Furman in Virginia there on Thursday before I left? You watch it. You watch that one.
You watch Furman, you said.
But I wasn't smart enough to change it.
Yeah, or gutsy enough.
Or gutsy enough, yes.
Yeah.
But yes.
But we did call Penn State as the upset on Thursday, and it did. And then Iona with the 2-point lead at halftime. And I felt like the cock of the walk when they were up by the half, and I went, look at that. And then they lost by 24. They got totally shellacked in the second half.
Yeah. I switched up Miami after hearing the song. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but after having it in the montage, I'm like, I got to take Miami now. I gotta walk the walk. I can't just talk the talk. I got to do it. So I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
But it's great. It is. It's all madness.
It's good time.
All of it's madness.
And now the rest, because my team isn't in it, whatever. The Sweet 16. It's that first weekend I just love.
Oh, I know.
And then after that,
and
it's
then
like, there's a few games. Not as much interest. I may not
Are we going to do an updated one?
I can do a Sweet 16 pool.
Like
sure
just you and I?
Okay.
Or do you want to? Are we
did that last year because I won the Sweet 16 pool last year.
Because again, the first weekend was crap last year too. We were all out.
Maybe I'll do a second one. It's a good idea. Because I have nothing but time on my hands. So.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it. You've got so much going on right now. So your book that you've been working on has been picked up by an agent.
Well, no, to read. I've not been signed.
But
a submission
there
request.
is interest.
Yeah.
And so this is the first full submission you have made.
True.
This isn't a teaser. This is like start to finish.
Send it to me, whole thing.
Wow,
Interested,
that's
send
excited.
it to me. So, yeah. So I
and
got that.
from that, you're going to go talk to Your TV here later.
I'm going to go talk to Ann and the staff down there at Your TV, so
That's
they want to
awesome.
interview me about
Good
that.
for
And then
you.
there's an author, and he's got an amazing platform. And he's got his book coming out and a podcast. I've been talking to him, and so I'm going to guest his first podcast. So it's kind of cool.
May.
Yeah, and that's coming up late May. I think May 30th we're recording. It's coming out in June.
I am just so excited because I'll be able to say I knew him when.
No, you'll be on the dedication page. You're like, and it'll say,
And then I'll just go around I'll walk around with it. That's me. He means me.
I'll say to Stephanie and Andrew, my loving children, to Kathy, for whom I owe everything, and Charity, bye.
I was going to say my last pair of shoes.
Yeah, exactly. And to Charity, I'll never live this down, Brown. Enjoy the book.
Yep. I knew him when. That's how I'll go
Inspired by
around.
my walks in Belleville Cemetery. That's when I've talked to people about it who ask, and I'm sure that'll come up today. You were walking around Belleville Cemetery and came up with an idea for a book that you wrote. Yeah. But see, we do morning show radio, so inspiration comes from everywhere.
Yes.
That's the thing. When
you become very aware of things, like little things, and you're
open
very
yourself
good
up,
at it. Yes.
You have to. You have to open yourself up to, we're on the air for 3 hours, the 21 other hours are show prep, because you never know when it's going to come in. And so when
you
you're
took
open to
a shopping trip to buy, what was it, kale?
No,
Like stuff like that, though. You walk in, you're like, who else? Like, that became a bit one morning. That's what I mean about
because
seeing
now it's
things
unanimous.
and making it into.
Yeah. Kale was the last thing I'd never purchased in a
There you
grocery
go.
store.
That
Now
was the
it's
bet.
complete. Now I've purchased everything
So
in a grocery
walking
store.
through the cemetery, I completely believe that's where you got your inspiration.
And yet I'll tell you, the thing that popped in my head that was the seed that started the book is nowhere in the book.
Really?
It got abandoned early, but it led to other things. And
Well, it got the ball
finished
rolling.
product is nothing like my first draft, and it's so much better and get people involved, and it's a crazy thing.
There
so,
you go.
Thanks. We'll see where that goes. So I have to go home and shave and put on a nice suit.
You're not
then
going to
I
wear
can say-
this? You could just wear this.
No, really? On TV?
What?
I couldn't
Your
possibly.
blue looks nice on you.
Yeah,
the
well, I'm gonna
stripes,
wear
maybe
blue.
not. Don't wear stripes.
Because that'll
Because they
clash
get
on
blurry.
TV. Right.
They get blurry.
Okay.
Solid color.
Are you busy this afternoon? Could
Yes.
you walk?
No.
Could you come to the TV studio with me?
Nope.
Okay. What else going on? Can we talk about sexy actors from Mom?
Sure.
You have
What do you
time
want to
for that
talk about?
quickly?
Yeah.
The poll that was in the Pulse this morning
Yes.
asked moms.
Specifically moms, yes.
Sexiest actor of all time. Tom Cruise won that one for moms.
He did. He was the, according to 2000, which I like too, it was a little deeper pool from the 200 that were listed last week with the turn-ons.
Yeah.
So moms were asked who they thought was the sexiest actor of all time and their favorite films.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, number one.
By quite a bit.
And for those of us who are not sexy, of which I count myself among, but are funny, of which sometimes I have my moments, Robin Williams was number two.
And you know what? I was pleasantly surprised to see that.
I'm not saying he was ugly, but you wouldn't have put him in as a world's
Humor
sexiest
has
man on People
always
magazine,
been,
right?
But humor for me has always
Yeah.
been the sexiest feature a man could have. If you can make me laugh, and this, you ask any of my best girlfriends, they would say the same thing. Chris Farley. Most people would not find him attractive.
Right.
His humor, the fact that he's goofy and just doesn't take things seriously, that to me is sexy, is very sexy. So Robin Williams, yes.
Okay, personal question.
Yeah.
So when you would watch Chris Farley like the first time, did it occur to you like, oh my God, I'm attracted to this guy?
Not first time, no.
Okay, but
I
at
can
some
appreciate
point-
the humor and be
at
like,
some
yeah,
point-
he is attractive.
Yeah,
Because of
okay.
his humor.
Right.
There would be, and you think that. You're like, okay, if I met him on the street,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like in your head, be like,
there would be a thought.
yeah.
There would be a hesitation. There would be that, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
If he's
right.
really like this. Now, if
Right.
it's not just a put on.
Right.
Because being
and we were
in the
both
public
single,
eye.
and I was in New York, and I saw him in a bar. Would I
Yeah.
go up?
I wouldn't go up to him, but if he approached me, there would probably be a chance. Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't
So
that
Robin
interesting?
Williams, same thing. Like,
Yeah.
and Robin Williams is so much better. Like, he's so much funnier than Chris Farley.
Oh, I don't- yeah.
Yeah. He was so talented and so funny.
funny.
I agree. He should be number 2. Tom Hanks, number 3.
Sure.
I think that's kind of
Both funny and reasonable.
Patrick Swayze, yes.
Seriously.
Come on. And then Robert Redford at number 5.
Number 5. And at number 6 was John Wayne.
Yes.
And Gone with the Wind was also there. So this is where the grandmas got involved.
Yeah. It didn't give an age as to the moms.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a wide.
Do you know when I think they asked spectrum. I think they asked the people who came out of 80 for Brady. and you know what?
That kind of makes sense.
Like this isn't the Avatar crowd.
Because there's nobody. The youngest person on this list would be Bradley Cooper. And how old is Bradley Cooper?
He's got to be
45.
Is he 45?
Maybe 45.
Yeah.
And he was at number 10.
See, there's no Tom Holland. There's no Chris Hemsworth,
Chris Pine, Chris whoever. No Chris's. Who else? But Paul Newman isn't on here. And I would say of all time, Paul Newman would be in my top 5.
Sure.
If not number 1.
Devilishly handsome, incredibly talented.
Incredibly.
And a nice guy. Apparently he was a nice guy.
He seemed like a genuine guy. Like a genuine human being.
Yeah.
Who else isn't on here? I'm trying to think of not To Kill a Mockingbird. Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck isn't on there, right?
From It's a Wonderful Life that made the movie
Stewart.
list.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy Stewart, not so much.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of?
But
then?
you think of
those older actors that were very distinguished looking and handsome, like classic handsome. Not on those. Not on
like
the list.
Robert Downey Jr. That's had such a long run recently.
Yeah,
not on the list.
Not on the list. It's very interesting to me.
What moms quote unquote considered. Because I went right to a guy like Tom Holland because I'm thinking sexy that you would want your daughter to bring home.
Oh, no,
like
these are moms who want them. These are moms. These aren't, they're not thinking about their children. They're thinking about themselves. So Tom Holland might be a little youngish.
Well, no, I get it now with the criteria means.
Brad Pitt, not on here.
You're right.
George Clooney, not on here.
Yeah.
Matt or Ben, not on here.
Not on there.
No.
Very
so it's a very interesting list. Sound of Music was the favorite film. Titanic, okay, Mamma Mia, Pretty Woman at number 4.
Yeah.
And Dirty Dancing at number 5.
Before we got to Dirty Dancing.
Before Dirty Dancing. Gone with the Wind, It's a Wonderful Life, as I mentioned. No. The Lion King, because, well, as we said, you're watching it with your kids, so that makes sense.
Nice memory.
Pride and Prejudice, and The Shawshank Redemption. Like, where's the Notebook?
Yeah, I can't believe that isn't there.
What's the one with Jack Nicholson and Shirley MacLaine?
Terms of Endearment.
It's not on there.
Beaches.
Steel Magnolias. Like, where
are they?
Where are these ones? Shawshank Redemption, great film. Favorite of all time? No.
Husband's favorite movie is Shawshank.
And maybe that's the connection, much like The Lion King. You watch it so much with your husband that it's
tied to that memory.
I guess. I don't know. And, I don't know. Yeah. So what did you want to talk about
because
then?
Morgan,
just because it's
that list. It's interesting. And Morgan Freeman made that list.
Yeah, he was number 8.
Shawshank.
Number 8. Really?
Okay.
Over Denzel? Over, as I said, George Clooney?
So many others.
I don't know.
Coming up tomorrow, Mismatched Sock Day.
Yes.
Everybody, thank you. I have 2 pairs just like that at home. Think about it.
You're so funny.
Okay. So we'll do that, and we'll tell you why. It's for a very important cause tomorrow. So we're going to have that for you on the air. We're also going to play Who Let the Dogs Out because the American Kennel Association has unveiled its most popular dogs. And for 31 consecutive years, the Golden Retriever was number 1 until this year.
I did not realize. I knew it was the most popular breed.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it'd been that long.
31 years in a row. Upset this year, drops to number 2. What breed is number 1? We'll play that if you can guess it by the bark. Who Let the Dogs Out coming up at 7:15. Have a great day, okay?
You too.
Thank you,
Have fun on TV today.
Thank you. I'm so nervous. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. We'll talk to you on the air tomorrow morning at 95.5 Hits FM.